works of art from Leonardo da Vinci all the way up to Salvador Dali. It's open late on a Friday till 9 o'clock, but every other day they close at 6, and it's free. You'll notice most of the museums and galleries in London are free. It's because we've got everyone else's stuff. We stole it all. We're really good at that. We stole everything. That was basically the British Empire. We were just like this, you know, like Ocean's 11 or whatever. We were just that for the world. We stole everyone's nice stuff, and then we're looking after it now. And everyone wants it back, and we go, no, we're looking after it. The museums are free. Come look at it. It's fine. Don't worry. And they was like, no, we want it back in our home place. And we're like, no, we're looking after it. It's fine. It's fine. So I know we sound really trustworthy, but we're not. We're not. I know most like American documentaries or anything, you hear an American voice, an English voice, and everyone's like, no. Someone's trying to steal something from you, and mainly time. That's what we do. So, the other side of Trafalgar Square, there is a very big building, directly to our left now, the very big balcony with a South African flag. That balcony, when a man named Nelson Mandela was released from prison, one of the first things he did was he came to London and addressed about 10 to 12,000 people gathered in Trafalgar Square. That is the second most amount of people ever to be gathered here. The most was after the Second World War. We had a very big party and about 15,000 people turned up, and even the Queen and her sister turned up in disguise and partied with everyone. There's some cool photos online if you can find them as well of them partying. And then our government decided to put in these fountains to stop people from gathering in Trafalgar Square anymore. They like doing stuff like that, our government. No? Is everyone fans of government here? What? No? So, I don't know if you know this as well, but we used to be known for pigeons in Trafalgar Square. There's none anymore because every day a guy turns up in a white van and releases a hawk named Rosie. And her entire job is just to defend Trafalgar Square from pigeons. She does a really good job, doesn't she? That's going to be a very fat hawk when she retires. Obviously you've got Nelson's column, war hero, died during the Battle of Trafalgar. What a coincidence he's in Trafalgar Square, eh? It's almost like they planned it. And obviously you've got the Christmas markets in Trafalgar Square at the minute. If you want some mulled wine, great place to go. If you want to have a look around and stuff. Quite nice, but obviously they do put the prices up of everything, so yeah, it's just tourist traps, look out for them, they're everywhere. And just so you know, for any Americans, you see George Washington there on the left. So he famously, great man, don't get me wrong, but he famously said he'd never set foot on British soil again. Well, he held him true to his word. He's standing on American soil. His statue is standing on American soil, yeah. So we're going down the Strand right now. This links Trafalgar Square and Covent Garden. If you want to get between the two, don't take the bus, walk it. It takes 5 minutes. Honestly, don't walk, don't get the bus. Everything behind this area, on the left-hand side, these buildings, everything behind these buildings on the left-hand side is Covent Garden, my favourite place in London. Very, very nice area. There's loads of pubs, restaurants, coffee shops. Very safe in the evening, especially for families. Lots of police patrolling in the evenings. You're going to see some weird people, but that's just part of life. I had the best chocolate fudge brownie I've ever eaten in Covent Garden, and I can't find where I found it. I was day drinking with my buddy, and I keep trying to get lost in Covent Garden again, but I can't find it. I'm worried I dreamt it. This on your left-hand side is 6, based around Henry VIII's 6 wives. It is good, yeah? Okay. Does anyone know the rhyme based around his wives? Divorced, beheaded, died. Divorced, beheaded, survived. That's how you know them. On your right, you've got Mean Girls down this road on the right. You've got the Savoy Hotel. They don't like groups of 13 coming for dinner. If we say we've got 13 people coming for dinner, they say, all right, I'll get a cat. What I mean by that is they'll get a wooden cat, it sits at your table, it gets a starter, a main course and a dessert, and you get to eat it. So you can find 12 of your best friends, that's where you go. I feel like you guys have lost some energy. I know you've been walking around London all day, but I'm a comedian. I need some... The reason I became a comedian is because I need attention. So I need you to give me something, because otherwise I think I'm bombing. And I can't do that, because then I'll give it straight back to you, because that's just my mindset. I'm sorry. Do you want me to tell you a terrible joke, just to get you back in the game? Why did the Scarecrow win an award? Because he was outstanding in his field. Thank you, I need that. Alright. What did the ocean take to the beach?
I don't know.
Nothing, he just waves. My wife asked me to pass her a lipstick, so I passed her some super glue. Now she's not talking to me. Right. Covent Garden is the second West End. You've got some lovely theatres, like this one back to your left. You've got the Lyceum Theatre where Bram Stoker wrote Dracula. It's currently showing The Lion King, the most profitable musical on the planet. You can tell that by the ticket prices. Mamma Mia at the Novello, coming up in front to your left. Down the same street as Mamma Mia, to your left, that road to your left. You've got the Frozen musical. I won't sing the song because you won't get it out of your head. The ironic thing about that song is once it's in your head, you can't let it go. I wrote that joke and I'm very proud of it. Thank you very much. Also, Waldorf Hotel, they host a dance inside a replica of the Titanic ballroom on a Sunday afternoon. Yeah, very nice. Yeah, I know. All the ladies look at me like that and go, yeah, it is. It is very nice. You see people getting dressed up in ball gowns and stuff and going down having a walk. It's very nice to see. Because the guy who designed the Waldorf Hotel, he designed the ballroom to the Titanic. And he designed this hotel. So he just did a replica inside. So yeah. Oh, by the way, the Indian Embassy is the only building in London to have 2 swastikas on it. Not the Nazi version, the proper version. And they're facing the right way round. So there's sort of a second golden circle back from your left. Oh, Drury Lane on your left hand side, that's where the Muffin Man lives. The Muffin Man. The Muffin Man! Not the buttons! Not the buttons! No? No Shrek fans? Right. Thank you very much. On your left, the London School of Economics. Famous alumni include Hillary Clinton, David Attenborough and Mick Jagger for about 3 months. Then he started a band or something, we haven't heard from him since. Any Harry Potter fans?
Yay!
That's Gringotts Bank!
Oh!
That's Gringotts Bank on your right hand side. It's all also the Australian High Commission, but we won't mention that. That's Gringotts Bank! This on your right hand side, St Clement Danes are strap remarks from the First World War. Look back to your right slightly after this blue box. Here you go, back to your right. See? Strap remarks, yeah. On your left, Royal Court of Justice. They deal with civil cases like the divorce of Charles and Diana and Johnny Depp and Amber Heard Part 1. This column in the centre of the road with the dragon on top represents we're about to leave the city of Westminster and enter the city of London. The dragon. Anytime you see the teeth, you're going towards bankers. Whenever time you see the arse, you're going towards politicians. Good way of remembering it. So the city of London is where the Romans first settled about 2,000 years ago. It used to be called Londinium, the city of London. And it's technically its own country. It's got its own tax system, its own banking laws, its own police force. technically the king has to ask permission before he enters the city of London. I hope not. Sorry. It's a really old law. I don't know if he still abides by it. To this day. Yeah. So yeah, basically, it's basically a tax haven, the city of London. This road we're about to cross right now is where the Great Fire of London reached. Keep in the back of your mind how far we're going to drive. So I'm going to tell you where it started. Okay, we're going to drive for a while. Coming up on the left-hand side, there's going to be a pub called Ye Old Cheshire Cheese, and it's where Charles Dickens used to drink. It's the first pub to be rebuilt after the Great Fire of London as well. It was built in 1667, Great Fire of London 1666. Still get a pint in there to this day. Here it is on your left. You used to sit on the second floor in front of the fireplace while he was having a drink, and he'd read his novels to anyone who would listen. Can you imagine? You finish work at some terrible job round here, you go to the pub and Charles Dickens is there reading A Tale of Two Cities. It must have been incredible. We're currently doing the same drive that Princess Diana did on her wedding day. She actually got divorced and married on the same street. You don't hear of that very often, do you? So they got married at St Paul's Cathedral. St Paul's Cathedral was built and designed by a guy named Sir Christopher Wren. And he basically rebuilt London after the Great Fire of London. And it used to be the tallest building in London for a long time. You can see it for 15 miles around. And he's buried inside. And on his grave, there's no monument, there's no statue, there's just some writing on his grave. Because he built so much of London, and because he's buried in the tallest building, on his grave, the writing says, "Reader, if you seek my monument, look around." I really like that. That is a baller move. I want something like that on mine. I don't know what yet, but I'll figure it out. Some people that are buried in there as well are like Duke of Wellington, Horatio Nelson, the guy in Nelson's column, Winston Churchill, Alexander Fleming, the guy who discovered penicillin, he's buried in there as well. You might recognise the steps on the outside from Mary Poppins, Julie Andrews and Dick Van Dyke with the worst Cockney accent of all time, singing "Feed the Birds Tuppence a Bag." I'll tell you more about his accent in a minute, because take a look at the statue on the outside of St Paul's. It's of Queen Anne, and she's actually looking at her favourite pub that's not there anymore. And she's very thin and regal in her statue, but that's like 1700s version of Photoshop. Because she actually died a quarter of a ton, 503 pounds, 250-ish kilos, 36 stone in British. She's buried in the only square coffin inside of Westminster Abbey. She loved brandy and hot chocolate. Can you blame her? So, most of it, yeah. So, does anyone know what a Cockney is? An East Londoner. And they're basically all criminals. Don't let them tell you different, because they actually created a language to be better criminals. It's called Cockney rhyming slang, and it's so that they could talk in front of the police about their criminal activities and they wouldn't understand a word they were saying. It sounds like they're talking gibberish. So things like apples and pears, that means stairs. Brown bread, that means dead. Dog and bone, that means phone. Trouble and strife, that means wife. Skin and blister, that means sister. I'm going to do the accent for you as well, because all my family grew up in East London and I like making fun of them. So I was on the old Dog and Bone yesterday to my Skin and Blister. You never guess who's brown bread? Oh, guess what? The trouble and strife go down the apples and pears. Clever, isn't it? Yeah. You won't think it by looking at them these days. So, you're going to see the centre of Covent London on your left-hand side. After these lights, it's between the Shake Shack and the Cafe Nero. You'll have to look back to your left, this direction. When I say back to your left, I mean back to your left. You would be believe the amount of people that go back to your left. That's back to your left, okay? So back to your left. It's a very narrow street. Looks a bit like Diagon Alley from Harry Potter. But the prettiest street in London at Christmas, because they've got all the lights up, looks like something out of a fairy tale. And at the end of Bow Lane, there's a church called the Church of St Mary Le Bow. And if you're born within the bells of St Mary Le Bow, you're considered a true Cockney. So look back to your left now, back to your left, back to your left, back to your left. So that's how narrow the streets used to be. That's why the Great Fire of London spread so quickly. Because everything was so close together, everything was made out of wood, and everyone had thatched roofs. So, we're now in the centre of Londinium, centre of the city of London. Lots of Roman ruins found underneath these parts. There's actually 17 rivers that run underneath London. One of them is down to your left right now. It's called the River Walbrook. This is what it looks like 20 feet under the ground. Here it is down to your left. Usually there's water flowing through it from the top left down to the bottom right. But it's just been cleaned, so they've turned it off for the minute. But it used to be, we found lots of Roman ruins down there because it's what the Romans used to use as their freshwater pipe and also their sewage pipe. So fresh water from the top, sewage from the bottom. No one like the guy that did it the other way round. And it's about that time I can actually tell you about the story of the Great Fire of London. So, in 1666, there was a man baking biscuits for the Navy. His name was Thomas Fariner. He left one of his ovens burning some embers overnight and forgot about them. He woke up in the middle of the night because he smelled smoke. He runs upstairs. I don't know why his ovens are upstairs, but he runs upstairs. His entire top floor's on fire. He has to dive out of a second-story window to get away from the flames, so about our height. That fire resulted in 5/8 of London burning to the ground. It burned for 4 days and 5 nights, and officially killed 8 people. But they didn't keep a lot of records back then, and they only counted rich men. And it's believed more because from where we are right now to where it finished, it was all full of peasants. So it's believed to be more in the thousands or tens of thousands, but we'll never know for sure. And as we turn right onto London Bridge, first, once we get where all those cars are, look up to your left. You're going to see the walkie-talkie and the Sky Garden. It is free to go up there, but you have to book about 3 weeks in advance, and unless you want to pay £200 for dinner up there, I recommend just going to St Paul's Cathedral. The best view in London, I recommend it, definitely. I'll tell you why in a second. And keep looking to your left. Here's the monument dedicated to the Great Fire of London. If I were to push it over, it's really strong. The tip would land on Pudding Lane where the fire started. 311 steps if you want to go to the top. Get your cameras out, you're going to get the most beautiful view of the entire tour. Up to your left, the Shard, down to your left, HMS Belfast, Tower Bridge and the Tower of London. Enjoy! Right behind you, basically. Right, as we come off London Bridge, underneath that railway bridge, just in front to your right, if you walk under about 50 metres, you come to a thing called Borough Market, one of the best food markets in the world. Not open tomorrow, going to be back open on Tuesday. If you can think of a food, it's in Borough Market. It's been there about 1,000 years, so it's got to be good, right? Just a quick question. Does anyone know what the official British food is? You'd think so, but no. You'd think so, but no.
Masala.
Chicken tikka masala. Well done. Basically, again, what we did was we stole a curry from India. We took all the spice out, made it really mild. We went, that's ours now. We invented that. Well, technically Glasgow did that, and we stole it from them. I think that's why London's the most multicultural city on the planet. And the most visited city on the planet. We want to get everyone here, steal all their best stuff and send them home. If you want to get a bit of vertigo, yeah, that's the Shard.
The what?
The Shard. The Shard. Tallest building in Western Europe, 1,016 feet tall. 96 floors. On the 72nd floor there's an observation deck that you can see for 40 miles around. We're in Tooley Street right now. This was Party Central back in the 1700s. Basically, they couldn't get big boats up the river because London Bridge was too short. So they'd have to take all the stuff off the boats. Sailors would be waiting around for a long time. They needed something to do. So lots of pubs started opening up. Lots of ladies of the night started turning up. You get the best prostitutes in England down this street back in the 1700s. And lots of gambling started happening. They used to have bear fights down this street. They used to dig a pit, put two bears in, watch them fight and bet on it. And when the City of London would close its doors like a curfew, people used to take rowboats over to this side of the river and come party. Shakespeare used to do that, and it's well documented. We actually also had the second biggest fire in London's history down the street. We haven't got a great track record with fire, to be honest, in London. But Tooley Street fire, we had a load of dry goods in warehouses around here and no health and safety, and it went up. It burned for 2 weeks. £10 million worth of stock, which today, £600 million worth of stock. So yeah. And you probably want to start getting your cameras out again. Not just yet, just start getting them ready. We're going to go over Tower Bridge in a minute. So I'm going to tell you a bit about it basically. So it's a bascule bridge, Tower Bridge, which means it opens in the middle to let the boats through. It takes about 8 minutes to open and close. Opens about 600 times a year. Painted red, white and blue for the Queen's Jubilee, but since she died I think we're just going to keep it now. The guy who designed it, his name was Horace Jones. He was an engineer back in the late 1800s, and he actually held a competition to see who would design it. He got about 500 entries, he didn't like any of them, so he just chose his own. There's one man that's jumped it as it was opening. His name was Albert Gunter. He was a bus driver back in the 50s. He had a bus full of people. It was a foggy day. The guy that was supposed to put the arm down, telling him it was opening, didn't do his job, and he got on the bridge. He's a World War I veteran, so he had a bit of bravery in him, and he thought, "There's water underneath, he'll be all right." So he got on the bridge, he started leaning back a bit, and he just put his foot down. He jumped it, he landed it. No one was hurt apart from him, because when he got to the other side, he slammed on the brakes so hard that he fractured his leg. And he was given £10 for his bravery and a day off work the next day. He was a northern man as well, so when they asked him, "What are you going to do with your money?" he said, "Father for me, father for the missus." Looks like there's some more upstairs now. Right, get your cameras out. First, look to your left when we go over the bridge. You're going to see the City of London, those lovely buildings like the walkie-talkie, the cheese grater, the razor blade, the gherkin, the Tower of London. On your right-hand side, you're going to see the other financial district of London. Second building, it's called the Docklands. Second building in from the left, it's like a pyramid top building with a white light flashing on it. That is Canary Wharf. It's kind of like our Empire State Building or One World Trade Centre. It used to be the tallest building in London for a long time. Look left, look right. Look up. Last bottom floors of the tower bridge experience. Spider-Man Far From Home. Anyone wearing kilts up there at the minute? No, we're good. Look back. You can see it twice if you look back. Logic. In front to our right, behind those buildings on the right hand side, there's a really underrated marina called St Catherine's Docks. Some really nice restaurants, some cool boats to look at while you're down there as well. But on the left hand side, the piece de resistance of London, the Tower of London. Lots of information, so I'm just going to rattle it off, okay? So, the centre, built by William the Conqueror about 1,000 years ago. Added to by different monarchs over the years. Every time you see a wall, that's pretty much another monarch added to it. It's been a police station, it's been a mint, it's been a prison, it's been a casino. It's where we was going to have Hitler's jail cell after the Second World War, but obviously he never made it. The centre is where we keep the crown jewels, the crown and the largest white cut diamond in the world called the Star of Africa. It was on a golden staff they gave to King Charles when he was crowned. Made him look a bit like a pimp Gandalf. It's also something we stole from India. They actually want it back. They sent us a really nice letter saying we'd like it back please, and we just left them on red. The moat has been a lot of things over the years as well. So originally it was a moat, it was built in a long time ago, it was a zoo at one point. We had a polar bear gifted to us by Norway. No idea how they got a polar bear here back in the 1500s, but they did. It used to go and hunt fish in the River Thames. We also had an elephant that died of alcoholism.
Yeah, red wine.
It liked red wine, and it got angry when we wouldn't give it to it, so we just kept giving it red wine and it died. It liked cheese as well, and no, it wasn't French. It was a vegetable garden to feed the people of London during the Second World War, and now it's just part of the lungs of London. We grow lots of wildflowers down there during the summer, and poppies during a lot of military anniversaries. But I would recommend doing a tour of the Tower of London. You'll know the entire history of this place afterwards. They're very good when they do the tour. The beefeaters, the guys that look after the crown jewels, they're very good. Guys and get. I'm sorry, I use guys as everyone, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's like my dad, he calls everyone mate. I usually call everyone buddy, because I'm shit with names. Great with faces, terrible with names, so yeah. Right, looks like we're letting a few people off here, and then we'll keep going. Everyone having fun? It's good. It wasn't as big as I like.
यार इन पेड़ों ने कवर कर दिया लंदन से बड़े सुंदर लग रहा है ये भी बड़ा अच्छा खास यहाँ पे तो हम सुबह आए थे
Excuse me, lady at the front. Would you be able to sit this gentleman? Right, so this is Tower Hill. This is where we used to hang, draw, and quarter people. Anyone know what that is? I'll explain. So, basically, it's the most brutal way to kill someone ever. They hang you as you drop off, they cut you down, and then you're waking up again because the blood's rushing back to your head. as you're waking up, they're cutting off your bits, cutting open your belly and pulling out your guts. Then either tie your arms and legs to horses and whip them to get them running in different directions, or just chop your arms and legs off, thus quartering you. And because it's London, we've got a very dark sense of humour, as you can probably tell by me. We've got a pub named after it on the right hand side, the Humberland Quarters. Inside that pub, there is a plaque that says, "Rude customers will be hung, drawn and quartered, and naughty children will be turned into pies." They don't really, they don't. I promise they don't, I promise they don't. So this is also where we sell our fish markets. And it actually took them 70 years to get the smell of fish out of these buildings on the left hand side. Coming up in front to our left, she'll like this next bit. Coming up on the left, you've got St Magnus the Martyr. Not very interested in a church, but as a building, very interesting, because it used to be the entrance to London Bridge, this one on our left right now. Old London Bridge. New London Bridge, not as impressive. We're actually going to go under it, but we would have been over it. Old London Bridge was absolutely massive. People used to live on it, people used to work on it, people used to go to school on it, there was a cathedral on it. Had you guys done the nursery rhyme, London Bridge is falling down?
Yeah.
London Bridge is falling down, falling down, falling down. London Bridge is falling down, my fair lady. My Fair Lady's at the end because it was a plea to the Queen of the time to spend a bit of money on it, because it really was falling to bits and they didn't want to lose their homes. So whenever they knew the Queen was nearby or she was going under on her boat, they should chant it off the side. She never did end up spending any money on it. It's now in Arizona. An eccentric billionaire bought it and put it across his favourite lake, Lake Havasu. Yeah. So Americans have got more of a chance of seeing London Bridge than I did, which is crazy, doesn't it? And I don't know if you know this as well, but the River Thames used to be a lot wider. We narrowed it back in 1858 due to a thing called the Great Stink of 1858. We used to put all of our sewage into the River Thames, and we had a particularly hot summer that year, and the smell was unbearable. And it was only until the smell reached Westminster, where all the politicians are, that they decided to commission a man named Sir Joseph Bazalgette, an engineer at the time, and he realised that if you make a river narrower, it runs a lot quicker and it gets a lot deeper, so it flushed all of our sewage out to sea. We don't put our sewage in it anymore. The reason it's that colour is because it's got a mud base. It's actually very clean. I'm going to chuck on a song now, because it's my microphone, it's my bus, so enjoy, basically. Hope you like it. Look back to your left. Any Harry Potter fans on your right? City of London School, that's where Daniel Radcliffe went to school. Kind of looks like Hogwarts, doesn't it?
Yeah.
He's a very privileged young man, Daniel Radcliffe. Oh, back to your left, that blue glass curve building a little bit. I don't know if you can see the 3 red dots back to your left. That is the Boomerang, or nicknamed the Kim Kardashian Tower. Anyone get why?
Because of the butt.
Got a bump, yeah. So that OXO tower, the one with the OXO on it, that is a really nice food, for food, it's a really nice restaurant basically, and it's not too pricey. To the right of that OXO tower, you've got those trees. To the right of those trees, you've got a really nice Jamaican food market. But during the day, you've got, in front of those trees, you've got London Beach. It looks like a beach in London, that's what it looks like. Whatever you're picturing, that's what it looks like. So, actually, on your right hand side, you've got Salsa Bar, biggest bar in London. It used to be, well, if you want to get hit on by a Colombian man, that's where you go. But it used to be Walkabouts, which is an Australian bar brand, basically. And they lost their license because whenever they inevitably beat us in the Ashes, which is the cricket, it used to be full of a load of drunk Aussies until like 3 in the morning, and then they'd have to kick them all out into London. It was fun, but it'd just be a load of drunk Aussies causing trouble, walking around London going, I beat you again, eh? I came across a few, it was funny. But we're going to go over Waterloo Bridge next. So I'm just going to tell you about the River Thames. So the reason it was declared biologically dead. Today, it is the cleanest metropolitan river on the planet. More than 200 different species of fish. We get dolphins, we get seals, we get whales sometimes. We have to turn them around really quickly though, because if they hit the fresh water, they won't make it, unfortunately. We had a really sad story about 4 years ago. A whale made it all the way to like Chelsea and it beached. We were trying our best to turn it around, but I know it looks really deep, it's actually really shallow. It's hard for them to turn around. And we also, there's 2 different kinds of sharks that live in the River Thames as well, actually. They're not like jaws, like rah. They're like bottom feeders. They look like big catfish, basically. But yeah, the River Thames used to be used like Venice. People used to take boats everywhere. And then the embankment was built and they couldn't do it anymore. Because a lot of buildings used to have like archways where you could take a boat into the building and dock, do what you need to do. So yeah. But the bridge we're going to go over next is called Waterloo Bridge. Nicknamed the Ladies' Bridge because it was built by all women during the Second World War. And it's the only bridge in London's history to be built on time,
And in the budget.
under budget, and it's never needed repairing since it was built. Round of applause. Well done, ladies. Thanks for making us look bad. It's the longest bridge in London, and you can tell it was built by mums because it even cleans itself when it rains.
It's got a slug.
Something to do with the way they plastered it. It's nuts. Honestly, it's crazy. I don't know how they did it. I find that more interesting than anything else. But mums were thinking, no, we can't be painting it every year. No, just make it so it cleans itself. Yeah, I don't know how they did it. Honestly. I would rather get that a round of applause than it was just built by women. It's the only thing that's not been needed to, yeah. We're about to go over it, yeah. And it has the best views in London. I'll let you know when you get your cameras out, I promise you. And also, right at the end, what I was talking about, best photo, you're going to get the best photo, the quintessential British photo at the end. It's the London Eye with Big Ben in the centre, and they're all lit up. So I'll let you know when it's coming up. And Peter is going to slow down for you because he's a legend. if you do give us any reviews online, make sure Peter is involved in them, okay? Yeah? I can feel you all getting anticipated. Right, the last thing before we go across the bridge is I want to tell you about this building on the left-hand side. It's called Somerset House. You know we nickname everything in England, don't we? So this was where we used to house all of our birth, marriage and death certificates before the internet. So Londoners aptly named it Hatcham, Batcham and Dispatcham. Right, get your phones out, look to your left first. You're going to get all those buildings I talked about. There you go on your left. For it. Look around, do you want.
So much right.
Right's a nice one as well. Left, right, whatever. Do what you want. Just so you know as well, that is the National Theatre on your left hand side. During the day it is all grey, and King Charles said that is the ugliest thing I've ever seen. Someone said the other day, has he ever looked in the mirror? Right, it's coming up on your right hand side past this yellow stairwell. Peter, can we start slowing down at this next lamppost? I'll crouch down for this next one. Make sure you look to your right. You're going to get the London Eye with Big Ben in the centre. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Look to your right.
Oh. Wow. That's actually pretty cool.
Am I good or what?
Perfect.
Yeah. You all better do a review. Peter? My name's Owen.
I don't know anyone.
Right, this is the London IMAX on your right anyway. It's where Christopher Nolan imagines all of his films being shown. And above Waterloo Station, you see there's a lady up there? That is Britannia. She's a mythical representation of the British Empire. She would have been on the front of a lot of ships back in the 16, 17, 1800s, usually topless. The first thing people had seen when we went around the world was a topless lady, so we made a lot of friends that way. And also, either side of the arch when we get round there, the one on the left, there's like a statue and it says 1914 underneath it. That one is called War. On the right, 1918 underneath it. That one is called Peace. So beginning and end of the First World War. And for anyone who got on at this stop at the London Eye and wants to get off at this stop again, that's the end of your tour.
TNI building.
We're going to go back to Haymarket where we pick the rest of the other people up. I hope you enjoyed, I hope you had fun, I hope you learned something, I hope it made you laugh. Enjoy the rest of your time in London. Yeah, thank you very much for listening. Thank you. Cheers guys. Thank you. Again, remember those reviews. That is my resume.